Social media versus social mayhem. It's infiltrated our lives in so many ways, but does the good outweigh the bad?
I seen your girl post a BM, so I hit her in the DM.
Social media has never been hotter. Forget White House briefings. More national news is being generated on Twitter by President Trump than from the Oval Office. He's even brought a new demographic to the platform.
With Trump, you see a resurgence where more people who maybe never used Twitter before now want to hear what he's saying. So they're just now joining Twitter, and that's why you're seeing kind of a rise overall in the number of active users.
For everyone else, the several hours a day spent on social media can be a constant reminder of what they don't have and will never be. At its worst, it's a showcase for bullying and a forum for hate, with some groups more vulnerable than others, says Bailey Parnell.
If you are a woman on social, you absolutely get it worse than men do. And if you are a woman and a person of color, there's the intersectionality, it's going to be even worse. And then we add on things like LGBTQ or my partner who's Indian and Muslim. He gets it worse in a different way.
In her TED Talks, Parnell urges people to become more aware of the impact on their lives and to understand that social media amplifies both positive and negative emotions.
We need to be focusing on the offline person. Do you compare yourself when someone says they go on vacation? We need to be focusing on things like resilience and self-assurance and self-awareness.
Social media campaigns like the hashtag #MeToo, referring to sexual harassment, raise awareness. Creative content like the Instagram accounts of comedian and actor Trav Q and rapper and MTV personality Justina Valentine are propelling them to new levels of success. 12-year-old motivational prodigy King NAHH uses his social media to inspire people around the world. He has this advice for parents.
With your child, one thing that I say you should do is educate your child on what cyberbullying or messing with another person online can do, what consequences it may hold.
From Instagram antics to viral videos, the influence just keeps getting bigger and bigger. So how do we cope? Let's find out what our panel has to say. Joining us for this episode of Street Soldiers, Bailey Parnell. She's the founder and CEO of SkillsCamp. She's also ranked on Canada's top 100 most powerful women list. Bailey, great to have you on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you. Also with us is Trav Q. He's an actor, comedian, and social media influencer. Trav, great to have you.
Thank you for having me.
And also with us is Justina Valentine. She is a singer-songwriter and rapper. She appeared on MTV's Wild 'N Out. She just wrapped season 10 with MTV. And she's also on the cast of the new season of MTV's The Challenge. Justina, great to have you.
You're damn right. Thank you for having
That's
me,
a lot.
Lisa.
Okay, thank you.
That was a mouthful. You have very good diction. I was like, she didn't even breathe. She just powered through that. That was great.
Thank you. Also with us is Lucky Church. He's an entertainment consultant. He's also image consultant and does public relations for hip-hop artists, pro athletes, and other high-profile individuals. Lucky, great to have you with us.
It's an absolute pleasure, always.
Thank you so much. Justina, I want to start with you on this, okay? You're all over the place in terms of your career. You have a lot of followers. It continues to grow. Could you be where you're at now, where MTV keeps calling you and people keep calling you for bookings without your social media presence?
I would say definitely not. Social media is a way to reach hundreds of thousands, millions of people without even leaving your house. You know, so for an artist, let's say if you wanted to travel the country and go tour, even if you bring a good amount of people out, let's say you're bringing out 1,000 people in every market and you do a 30-city tour, what's 30 times 1,000? Come on, you're the numbers guy.
30,000.
There we go. Making sure you're up. Now, 30,000, if I post a video on my Instagram, 30,000 views, that's like super low. You know, I've gotten up to like almost 1 million views on a video. So you're talking about touring for a month or posting one video. You can't compare to the reach that you're able to get on social media and via the web. So it's helped me grow my career in ways
very fast, right?
Very well. You know, everything's a grind, you know, so even when things look fast, there's years of labor behind that.
But I mean, progress. You've had a lot of progress.
Absolutely. And, you know, it did help me, like you said, get to MTV Wild 'N Out from my videos online, of freestyle rapping.
Helped you get to Street Soldiers right here
Helped me get to with my girl Lisa.
That's right. Okay.
So, yeah, it's just nothing compares to it as far as promoting yourself, promoting your brand, and getting yourself out to the masses, it's unmatched.
Lucky, what do you say to your clients and those that you're advising who go, oh, I just don't have time for it, I don't want to deal with it? Can they reach the pinnacle of success in the entertainment world, in the NFL or the other pro athletes you advise? Can they reach that level where people are calling them for endorsements and appearances and that type of thing without social media?
Not today. I have so many clients that always want to avoid it, especially, I don't want to put anybody in the bracket with a lot of my older clients. They refuse to just touch the social media market at all, or they want to hire people sometimes to handle it for them. But I tell them that interaction with the crowd that is attracted to them is very important, and engaging with your fans, engaging with your audience to make sure that they can touch, feel you, and feel like you're accessible. And we're in a visual world, so this is right in their hand. This is their TV. They live by it, especially a lot of the millennials today. So nobody can reach that real high level of success or endorsements without social media, period.
Yeah. Trav, what made you go into this whole Instagram mode? Because you're really famous for Instagram and the screaming in public places.
We gotta let it out sometime. But that's just me being me. Before I even recorded myself, I used to just do that on the regular. Even with the now walk away from me too. I woke up to the celebrities and I said, "You are one of the most." Lisa, you are one of the most beautiful men I've met in my life. I'm serious. You gotta say thank you now.
Thank you.
Now walk away from me. But the thing is, with that I did all that without recording myself. It took my fraternity brother. Shout out to Kevin Jackson. We can do shout outs here if that's okay. He was like, you need to put this on the internet. And that was back when Vine was popular. So the first time I ever screamed in a restaurant, I didn't expect it to go viral, but it went viral. So and it was like,
Did they ask you to leave, or did they say pay your check and get out?
I'm not gonna stay and wait for what's about to happen, so I'm just out the door.
That was it. Yeah. Bailey, you have been outspoken about social media, and yet that's the very tools that you use for your business, for your career.
Yeah.
Tell us why you feel that we need to kind of pay attention to what we're doing with this.
We do have to pay attention, but I think I have to premise that with saying that the way I view social media is that it's neither good nor bad. It's just the most recent tool that we're using to do what we've always done, which is, tell stories and communicate with each other. And we wouldn't blame Samsung Television for a bad TV show. So when we're talking about this dark side of social media, and I think we're going to get into this today, we're really talking about the dark side of people and how we use it. And you can use that like Obama, and you can coordinate and unify, or you can use it like, I'm so sorry, I'm from Toronto, but what you have going on right now, he can use it to divide and to distract really from what's going on.
Don't mind, girl.
We got it.
From Canada anyway, don't worry about it.
Also, I feel like I need to
cross that border. No one's coming for it. That's true. She's gonna be like, Lisa, I'm detained. Did you need me for another episode?
I'm available.
So you feel like it's being blamed, but a lot of it is really the human behavior.
Yeah, because like Justina was saying, we've increased access to things that we never would have been able to see before, and whether that's because it's a privilege thing and not being able to actually go see the shows because you can't afford them, or it's something like being able to talk to people across the world and learn about their issues. I never would have been able to do that, and so that's a great side of it. Now I can, that's how I learned about you, that's how you learned about me today, that's how I get to see amazing things come out of TravQ. But I also get to see things like white supremacist groups who are taking over Toronto events. And I also get to see, the violent uprisings. Well, actually, usually those are pretty good uprisings, but I get to see wars, and we are just not used to seeing this much violence. We are not used to seeing it firsthand,
unless you're like a news reporter and we're out there and you're out there right away. We're going to continue with this conversation. This is Street Soldiers. I'm your host, Lisa Evers. We're talking about social media and social mayhem. We'll be back right after this.
When you don't like a woman, the first thing you're gonna attack is her looks.
Let's talk first about the dark side. Let's go there. We see, as Bailey mentions, we see white supremacists, we see negativity, we see on the micro level, we see bullying going on, we see this type of thing, we see swatting where kids are pulling these pranks but they actually have real life consequences. Trav, do you worry about that little kids are not going to go around screaming in public places?
I actually do.
I mean, a lot of them already do, but
a lot of them do, but I do something on my Instagram story, called Truthful Tuesdays. So it's like, don't do it for like just to go viral. You understand? Because I'm doing it just to be myself. So if little kids are going out and they're doing it, they have to go out and do it just for fun. And you're not doing it to go out and scare people. You know, you're not doing it to hurt anyone. So I try to get that across to my platform.
And you're not doing anything physically violent.
Oh no, not at all.
But what do you think of the people that are doing stuff that's physically violent or destructive? You know, they're going up punching people and then putting those videos out, or jumping on people, jumping on, destroying things. And
there should be consequences for that, you know, because you're actually harming someone, and you know, people see that. I will never hit someone in my video and then put that on the internet, you know. So it's like, because little kids see that's bullying at the end of the day, and you know, a lot of kids grow up and they're gonna think that's okay.
Yeah.
And Justina, what about as a woman, as a beautiful woman, women are most often the target of a lot of some very snide comments, and no matter how perfect somebody may look, there's always somebody throwing shade.
I'll tell you this, as a woman, and I know you guys can relate, our story, our journey, our process, our grind is way harder than a man's. Number one, when you don't like a woman, the first thing you're gonna attack is her looks. If someone doesn't like you or you, they're not talking about your looks, because if they're a guy, they're gay, and a girl's just not gonna do it. But if someone doesn't like one of us, you better believe, whether it's a man or a woman, they're attacking our physical. So for a woman in this field, not only do you have to be so secure, confident in yourself, grounded, and have a good circle, your skin has to be so tough. You have to be like bulletproof, because they're gonna attack you in ways that they won't attack a man. So for a woman, your comments and the backlash you receive, it's why a lot of women, they don't have the strength of mind to push through and get to where they want to get.
And Bailey, that's so sad to me, because at a time when as women we have more opportunities in terms of career-wise, business-wise, just in terms of life and lifestyle options than ever before, than any other generation. There are these mental stressors that women have now because of everything. You could think you look great, and then somebody just makes some stupid comment.
Oh, I mean, absolutely. I think I was even thinking about this before I came today, that you can't really talk about the dark side of social media, especially for women, without talking about intersectionality, because if you are a woman, it really sucks. But if you are a person of color and a woman, it sucks way more. And if you are LGBTQ, it sucks way more. And let me give you an example. So my partner and I, we both have TED Talks up. And mine, do you think, you want to know what one of the top comments is those childbearing hips, like you're saying. It's about my appearance, but he's actually Indian and Muslim, so he gets terrorist comments. And so there's that intersectionality that you just wouldn't experience if you're a white man. Your dark side is a little bit lighter than the rest of ours. And in terms of what happens, but in terms of the mental stress, what does that do? Well, you have to think, offline, it was the same thing. So I do think that social media is a reflection of the offline world. The difference is that we're now just inundated and it's directly tied to you. And so, if I were to say to you right now, or I were to, comment, whether it was maybe I went to your show and left bad reviews, and I was just pouring on you how much I hate you or you're a whore, this kind of stuff, which is what we get.
What we get
all the time for doing nothing
for
but
no
speaking.
Reason. It gets speaking, what about that?
Being smart about something.
That's the thing with social media. Someone can bash you without saying it to your face. So it can mentally stress a lot of people out, And
fake pages.
A lot of internet thugs,
and people create fake pages just to talk, talk negative about you and whatnot. But it's like, you have to have tough skin for this. At the end of the day, like if you create a social media account, you have to expect the positive and the negatives.
And be ready for it.
And just to add to what you're saying, brother, there's a sense of accountability that everyone has to have when they're going online and using social media. You have to look at the examples around you of people. You can't think you're exempt from the same treatment. You know what I mean? If you're going to engage in social media in any way, as a person who's putting content out, I love what you're doing, this fact as you're putting out these disclaimers, letting people know what you're doing. But I think that should be kind of the trend as well, that people should be held accountable to put these disclaimers on what they're doing, to say, look, I may be doing this, but you shouldn't.
Is social media making us more fake?
Oh, it definitely is. A lot of people can go every day. They can go through their life faking it. You understand? Just I don't want to bring up the rapper, but there was a certain rapper that was on an airplane and he took a picture and said, I'm on a private jet, but he was on like airplane with everyone else. You know, I think everyone knows what it is. But
It's an illusion that people want to feed into.
Exactly. It's like,
And you know what it is? Your social status is determined by your number of followers. And I've always thought that was so corny. And I've never been like that. Like, if you're my friend or we're cool, or even if we have a dope interaction, I don't care if you have 75 followers. It doesn't matter. But I experienced it myself coming up, some, you know, male artists that I was cool with, and they just never followed me. And now I'm past them following wise, and it's just, I never wanted to be that person that was like, oh, you have this many followers, we could be cool, I'm gonna follow you and we could be down. To me, that's just like, you're corny in real life. I don't care what your Instagram says.
Right,
so.
no matter what it says.
Yeah.
What about that?
Oh, so
Bailey, in terms of the fake and people feeling like that they're putting these lifestyles out there, like Trav said, you know, it's a G5 and it's really just, you know, you're in economy class there.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So, or on a bus.
Or taking a picture as they walk past first class. And
Right.
they're in the party, acting like they're turning up. It's like 4 people in the party, but it looks like, you know,
It's
a lot of people
popping.
in there.
It's popping.
So it's like,
But what about that? With women, there's that whole thing of like weddings and all these engagements and all these types of things.
What Justina was saying about the number of followers, we would call that, so in marketing, in digital marketing, we would call that social currency. And so just like a dollar, a currency is literally something that attributes value to a good or service. And so in social media, we are the product and we're letting others attribute value to us. And so it's public, it's directly tied to you, and everyone can see it. And now here's the wild thing, is that every time we get a like, we get a shot of that feel-good chemical, dopamine.
Oh, really?
Yes.
For real?
We gain more of that social currency. So what do we do to feel good? We post just one more time. We post in front of a fake G6 just one more time. And when we don't have access, we feel anxious. So doesn't that sound like every drug that you've ever heard of?
Yeah.
Yes, it totally does.
When your phone's dead, it's like, I gotta go.
Don't even talk to me.
your phone
Don't
is
even
on
talk to
1%,
me.
you're running to get that chocolate.
Guilty. I totally freak out. I totally freak out.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we got chargers. Stay
You know
right
what,
there.
what else makes it bad is that it's become so demanding
the
that
trap
people
phone.
even go far to buy the likes. Like it's
Crazy.
become such
And
a
buy the
drug.
followers.
And buy the followers.
Like what I mean to say is we are biologically rewarded, and now we're even financially rewarded for doing that,
Yeah.
for
Right.
faking it. And so of course there's motivation to fake it.
Yeah.
And then also some people are trying to buy instant fame with it.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
100%.
But can you tell, Trav?
Of
Can you?
course.
How do you tell
Someone
what's
has
real
like
and
a
not?
million followers and they post a picture and get 2 likes. Like, come on.
That's it.
come
No
on, like,
engagement.
Then you know there's something wrong. There's like a ratio or something,
Exactly.
right?
You
Exactly.
can also tell by the views.
Right.
You know, per, every 100,000 followers you have, you're supposed to have a certain amount of views. When your views, likes, and comments don't match, I could spot fake likes and followers. I know you can too.
Measurements
Like,
is true.
yeah,
Yeah.
easy. But like you said, the more social currency you have, the more you're paid for a post. So as my followers increase, the different brands that want to work with me keep increasing the amount that they'll pay me to post. So it's, your whole worth as a brand goes up as your following goes up.
Right.
But the companies are becoming more savvy and can spot these things as well. They have bots and all kind of gadgets behind the scenes that
Oh,
can
yeah.
read people's profiles, engage, if their interaction is
followers,
real
yeah.
and genuine. So yeah.
Lucky final word?
Final word is just be mindful of what you're putting out there. Realize that the words that come out of your mouth, whether it's from verbal or it's a tweet or whatever you're doing, this has an effect on someone's emotion, someone's life. You are.
there's a human
everyone is
being behind
human.
that
Yeah,
phone,
exactly.
basically.
There's a human on the other side of your words, and we have to be conscious of that. Because we have to be accountable for what we do and what we put into the world.
Definitely. All right, well, I want to thank our panel for being with us. This is a great show.
Thank you so much.
Awesome to have all of you. Bailey Parnell, thanks for being with us.
Anytime.
Trav Q, great to have you. Justina Valentine.
Thank you.
And Lucky Church, thank you so very much. Remember, use your mind, it's your best weapon. I hope it's your only weapon. I'm Lisa Evers. Let's push for peace.